And good morning, everybody. Welcome. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, how are you this morning?
I am well, Eric. Ready for the weekend. Ready for whatever comes on Sunday. And a big opportunity for the Broncos against the Chiefs. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, I want to tell you about Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk. They always have great promotions. On December 13th, their annual holiday auction for a pair of Super Bowl tickets, tools, jewelry, electronics, toys, and kitchen appliances is going to be going on. You can earn auction currency with every locked up jackpot, players' points, or daily cash drawings. I've hit a number of locked up jackpots. I personally believe they have loose slots compared to other places I've gone to. You should definitely go check them out and have a chance to be part of that auction, which you can win a pair of tickets to go see the Super Bowl. 10 years ago, the Broncos won a Super Bowl where this year's Super Bowl is going to be, and that is just outside of San Francisco. Again, so many ways to earn currency. The more you play, the more you're going to be able to bid and win at their auction. So get up to Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos today, a family-owned casino that treats you like family. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
We touched on this briefly yesterday. Broncos roughly 3.5-point underdogs to the Chiefs at home. But if you factor in the way the odds makers do things, it's probably about 2.5 to 3 points given automatically to the home team.
Yep.
So can you make the case that the odds makers believe the 5-4 Chiefs are nearly a touchdown better than the Broncos, who are on a heater, 8-2 on the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can get there. I mean, there's logic that takes you that way. I don't have any problem with that. Does it seem reasonable? I suppose it may seem reasonable. I mean, it's not like the Chiefs are on any kind of heater. They are coming off. Now they're coming off a bye, and we all know what Andy Reid does in byes: 22-4 all time, 9-3 as head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, coming off of a bye. So you've got that going for you. But they were pretty regular in the loss at Buffalo. And Patrick Mahomes looked very human in that game. He completed only 44% of his passes. He was pressed 53% of the time and did not perform well, certainly in that game. But I get it. The Broncos offense has been really left you wanting the last couple of weeks. So I kind of feel where they are right now, and they've got some key injuries. I mean, Pat Surtain not going to play, Alex Singleton not going to play, J.K. Dobbins not going to play. So, okay, fine. I can live with that.
Okay, so with that, going into this game with all the injuries that you just mentioned and guys who are not playing, where are you at on the confidence meter? 1 to 10, Broncos win this game. Forget about point spreads. Let's just talk about straight up. How confident are you the Broncos win, 10 being the highest?
I'm at a 6.
How would you feel if Surtain, Dobbins, and Singleton were all playing? And the reason why I bring up Singleton is he's the guy who has the dot in his helmet.
Yeah.
He's the guy who organizes the fellas to make sure that they're in the right places. So it goes from a 6 to a what if those
7.
guys are playing?
7.
Oh, not that much then.
No, I mean, I think the plan. Look, I understand where people will look in the moment, because this is a game that's going to be played in the moment.
Yep.
And how the teams are playing at this particular time, and I get it. But there's some history here as well. Vance Joseph has been outstanding defensively against the Chiefs for the last 2 years. In the last 4 games that they have played, and I will throw out the JV game, okay? We'll take that one and throw it out, throw out the shutout because Mahomes didn't play. But in the 3 previous games, they've averaged 14.3 points against the Broncos, against Vance Joseph's defense, against that scheme. Now, yeah, you can argue the players that they had, you take Pat Surtain out, that's a big miss. Alex Singleton as well, no question about it. But I do think that the Broncos should go into this game with some confidence that they are able to play in this game against this team based solely on the fact of what they've done with this team over the last couple of years. It's not like they haven't had success against the Chiefs. You can look, they could have won, should have won maybe 3 games in a row in this series. I mean, let's not forget, before the 16-14 loss in Kansas City on the missed field goal, they had beaten them 24-9 the year before, the last game before that. So the Broncos have had some success in this thing. But how much that plays effect, we'll have to wait and see. But I think that the Broncos are going to play well in this football game.
We know the Chiefs need this game
Yes.
to avoid falling to 5-5. That goes without saying. But how much do the Broncos need this win? Is it comparable to the Chiefs? Because I think it is. And I think it is because I understand Chiefs lose, chances of them winning the division are pretty slim. But at the end of the day, if the Broncos win the division and the Chiefs just find a way to get a wild card, I think the money is probably still on the Chiefs.
Could very well be. I think pragmatically, and I said this, I think, yesterday, I think pragmatically you can look at the Chiefs and where they are right now and say, we better win a game. Otherwise, we are in danger of not even making the playoffs.
Yeah, but for the Broncos, it is we have to win this game.
Yeah, I
don't think the Chiefs look at it as we have to win this game. And I understand the swing and tie break and winning the division.
Right.
The Broncos, the Chiefs have been their boogeyman.
Yeah.
And they've been everybody's boogeyman.
But pragmatically, it would drop the Broncos to 8-3.
I understand that, but it's still in their head. They can't beat the Chiefs.
Well, but if they beat the Packers and the Commanders and the Chargers and the Raiders,
all great. You got to beat the champ to know if you beat the Chiefs, you have cleared that mental hurdle of
agreed.
We can beat anybody.
I think there's value in that thought.
I think the Broncos believe they can beat anybody, including the Chiefs, but it's Kansas City they need to beat.
Yeah. This is a huge game if you win it. It's not as huge game if you lose it from a standpoint of the standings. From the standpoints of the intangibles that we're talking about, it is it's a huge game that way, because I do think the residuals that you get for this game, if you win this game, sets you up for a really strong stretch drive. Not to say that they might not have a really strong stretch drive anyway. They're going to have a bye. They're going to get people back and healthy. They should have a very close to a complete roster to start the last 6 games of the season. Those are all things that are of a tremendous advantage for the Broncos. In other words, this bye, if you can get by this game with a win, sets up really well for them timing wise. But lose this game, you're still in a good position, but there's that lingering doubt about if you got to come. Well, you do have to come back to Kansas City because you're playing there on Christmas Day. So, Yeah, absolutely.
Here's another way to put it. It would be disingenuous to say this is not an important game for the Chiefs. It is an important game because if they want to win the division, this is as must win as you get.
Yeah.
For the Broncos, it's not a must win.
No.
For the Chiefs, it is a must win. But let's just put this in perspective here. Since 2016, the Chiefs have played at least 20 or more games that have been far more important than this one on Sunday.
Yes.
For Denver, this is their most important game in 10 years.
Yes.
That's simple.
Yeah.
Just
Agreed.
another game for the Chiefs,
Yeah.
in theory, but I understand all the tentacles that go with it. That's why the Broncos need to win this game, where this is almost like a break. It's almost like there is a ceiling, which are the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are everybody's ceiling, and very rarely do teams break through that ceiling. The Broncos, if they can break through the Chiefs' ceiling, specifically because they're at home, they're looking at clear skies above them. Who's going to stop them?
Yeah. Still got to deal with the Chargers.
They're looking at all that drywall.
Right.
For the how many consecutive years with that?
Still got to deal with the Chargers. Chargers have got to be dealt with.
I found this interesting, not necessarily surprising. I'm sure there are a lot of Broncos fans that are going to say, but look at what Bo Nix has done in the fourth quarter, which is fair. NFL.com did its weekly quarterback rankings. There are 5 tiers. Bo Nix is in the 4th tier and ranked as the 25th best quarterback in the league. He is behind backup quarterback Davis Mills from the Texans. He is behind Marcus Mariota, another backup quarterback. He is behind Tyler Shuck from the Saints, and he is 1 spot ahead of J.J. McCarthy. And in Minnesota right now, they want to run this guy out of town. Is this ranking, and how stunning is this ranking to you? Or are we living in the bubble and we keep pointing to the fourth quarter instead of looking at Bo Nix's body of work, in which he is bottom 3rd in most major categories this season? I don't want to hear about he has a streak going of 1 touchdown pass for X number of games.
No, I mean, my simple response to that is, what's your record? I mean, they're a good football team with plenty of room to continue to improve, and most of that comes from the offense led by Bo Nix. Has Bo Nix been the type of player that we thought he would be in year 2? No, he hasn't. Can you make an argument that in some areas he's regressed? Yes, absolutely. But here's one area that he's improved in: 1-score games.
Yep.
They're 6-2 in 1-score games.
Right.
And at the end of the day, for me, that has to be my guiding light. They're an 8-2 football team. Now, you can make the argument they're 8-2 in spite of the way that Bo Nix has played. I'd listen to that. Okay. Yep. But Bo Nix has also facilitated, to a large degree, their ability in those 1-score games.
Yes.
He has been good to great in various games. You'd like to see more consistency. Here's the thing that I think bothers you more about where Bo is at this particular point. He's had opposite ends of the spectrum. And that's where he's been. He's either been really damn good or he's been really damn bad. And you'd like to see a little bit more of a meeting in the middle and some consistency with those flashes of greatness that can win you games at the end of games when you've got to be able to win tight games in the NFL. So he's a little bit of a contradiction in terms based on where they are with an 8-2 record right now.
So why do you think, at the very least, it looks like he has regressed in major areas? Obviously, he's better in 1-score games. Of their comebacks, he was responsible for that.
Sure.
Because he looked like one hell of a NFL quarterback in those fourth quarters.
Yep.
But quarters 1 through 3, I don't think I need to go down this rabbit hole with you.
Yeah, right.
But why does it look like he is uncomfortable? He doesn't set his feet. He looks panicked at times. How much of that is Sean Payton?
It's a fair question, and I can't imagine that the very basis of that question isn't what's fueling the work that they're doing right now to get themselves, the two of them, Because what we talked about last year, the symbiotic nature of the relationship between the head coach and the player. And it was unquestionable as the season went on. Bo Nix had what? 2 or 3 tough weeks at the very beginning of things. And then he started to hit his stride, and he never really left it last season. Well, you can make the argument this year that he has never really hit his stride yet, that the offense and that Bo has never been in rhythm. And that, I think, has to be the ongoing goal.
Is the wide receiver core better this year than last year?
I think it is.
Is the tight end room better this year than it was last year?
Yes, I think
Running
it
back
is.
room better this year than it was last year.
It is.
Offensive line better this year than it was last year.
I mean, they're playing at they're playing at the same level. Yes, even without.
Is Bo Nix better this year than he was last year?
No.
So if everything else is better than it was last year, what's the common denominator?
Yeah. I mean, right. And that's where they're working right now. And I think if they can break through, and boy, the timing is, how good is the timing for that right now? I mean, you know, I know everyone is saying, oh my God, J.K. Dobbins is out and all of this stuff. Hey, they're playing at home in a big game against a team that they have some demonstrated ability against, even with all of the prowess that the Chiefs have had. This is a tremendous opportunity for this team. And we casually flip around the phrase, get right. Well, how better of an opportunity are you going to get right more than this game is going to offer you? You have a great chance to be exactly what you want to be coming out of this game. And all Bo Nix needs to do is to play with some of the confidence and the consistency that he has lacked this year.
In sports, when it comes to analyzing, you know, all of us, certainly including me, not all of us, but most of us, including me, will throw out narratives. It's a must win. It's a get right game. It's a prove it game. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, of course.
For this particular game for the Broncos, and specifically for Bo Nix, this is a change the narrative about heading into the playoffs game.
Yes.
I understand you still have the Packers on the schedule. The Packers are not some great team. They're fine.
And you're playing them at home.
They're better than most teams.
Yep.
I get that. But this is a change the narrative game for the Broncos, in which if Bo Nix goes out there and plays well, and the offense plays well, and the defense does what they need to do, and they win this game, the Broncos will likely, I shouldn't say likely, let's see what happens this weekend. The Broncos, who have been consistently hovering around 8 or 9 in power rankings, when you add them all up, all the power rankings that come up, they will jump up to number 3, if not higher.
Yeah, I mean, you win this game and you are in a sprint to the number 1 seed along with the New England Patriots, interestingly enough, who now are at 9-2, kicking ass and taking names in the East, and look like, for the world, a legitimate football team. Now, I'm not going to give them too much credit against the Jets, but Drake May continues to play extremely good football at a very high level, like a top 5 level right now in the NFL.
Is he going to be the best quarterback out of this class?
Well, I mean, I don't know, like, what's our time frame? Do we make this judgment in 3 years? Probably. But right now, he's on the rail. He's got the inside track here. Jaden Daniels isn't playing football right now. And obviously he had a tremendous season a year ago. Bo Nix had a tremendous season a year ago, but has faltered a little bit in year 2. I think it's very recoverable for him, but he's got to go and prove it. But yeah, Drake May's done an unbelievable job this year.
Take personality out of it completely.
Okay.
Because we know what Josh McDaniels was like when he was here. an unmade bed, and that's insulting all unmade beds. He was a frat boy running a team when he was here. Who's a better offensive mind, Josh McDaniels or Sean Payton?
I haven't been around Josh McDaniels enough.
What you have seen with what he did with Tom Brady, what you have seen with what he has done with Drake May, so on and so forth.
Well,
When you watched last night's game, didn't it feel like that Drake May always seemed to be in a position to make a play?
Yeah. He was awfully good. There's no question about it.
Have you seen that consistently with Bo Nix? No.
Well, not this year. Not as much this year. Right.
Yeah.
So, but although I've seen him in position, he hasn't been able to trigger it quite as much.
Not really the case with Drake May.
No, Drake May
triggers it, yeah. and it feels like. Does it feel like to you that Sean Payton has his mind made up on what an offense looks like and what it should be, and instead of tailor making a offense around the skills of his quarterback, he's jamming his system down the quarterback's throat?
He likes to throw the football. That is what I will say. He will. I mean, their run pass ratio hasn't been horrible at all this year, but boy, he will default to the pass very, very quickly.
And how quickly, if RJ Harvey does not start running like he's being chased by a panther, okay, and picking up big chunk yards, how quickly does it suddenly become Bo Nix has attempted 20 passes, then 25 passes, then 30 passes, and we're midway through the third quarter in a tight game?
Yeah, you don't want to get into the 30 or 35 or 40 range. That is not a good sign for the Broncos.
Do you feel that their running game is good enough right now without J.K. Dobbins to not have to throw the ball 30 to 35 times?
I think there's a chance.
Against
I do.
The Chiefs defense?
I do. I
Against
think
the Chiefs defense?
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I think you got to run right at them, and you got to run right at them. Look, they're giving up about 105 yards a game rushing. I think you're going to have to be north of 105 to win this game, because you have to be able to win. You have to be able to balance time of possession in this game. You can't have your offense going 3 and out and allowing Mahomes all that time on the field. They're going to score points if you're
a defensive coordinator. Are you looking at the Broncos offense and saying, we're going to concentrate on shutting down their run, let Bo Nix beat us?
Yes.
As opposed to the Patriots, where is it let Drake May beat us? Because I don't think that's how defensive coordinators now look at Drake May. Well, let's just see if he could beat us.
Yeah, Travion Henderson's a load, but yeah. The Broncos are facing the 12th best rushing defense in the NFL. Now, keep this in mind: the Chiefs are one of 5 teams in the NFL that are in the top 10, both with total offense and total defense. They're one of 2 teams in the top 7 with total offense and total defense. This is a complete football team. They're still a 5-4 football team.
2 weeks ago, the Broncos were top 10 in offense and defense too.
Yeah.
Things change.
Well, they're still.
And when they were sitting top 10, we said, does this really look like a top 10 offense?
Well,
and all of us knew it did not look like a top. It looked like a top 10. It looked like shit. It was a top 1 offense in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you don't just play one quarter.
But they're 9th in the rush. They're the 9th best rushing team. And that's what you've got to trust that a little bit. And that means the onus is on the guys up front. That offensive line is one of the best in football. They're paid to be one of the best in football. And this is a game that you've got to be able to run the ball in, period.
Without your bell cow back.
Absolutely. And that's a fair statement. That's a fair statement. And by the
way, okay, I'll ask you right now, who has more carries on Sunday? Tyler Bidet or Jaleel McLaughlin?
Probably Jaleel.
For a guy who hasn't played pretty much all year.
Oh, he's only been active for one game.
That's what I mean. He hasn't pretty
Absolutely.
much played all year.
Hey, this is what games are for when guys aren't available. And nobody wants to hear it.
Yeah.
You're in the NFL and you've got a game to win and you're at home. You've got to run, you've got to trust your offensive line. This isn't about RJ Harvey as much as it is about those guys in front of him.
There is a lot of pressure on the Chiefs to win to avoid 5-5.
Right.
How much pressure is on the Chiefs scale 1 to 10? How much pressure is on the Broncos?
Very different kinds of pressure.
Very.
But I will say this. I think the pressure on the Chiefs to win is a 7, and I think the pressure on the Broncos to win is a, and I'm saying this more on the standings based on anything else, is like a 6. So for whatever that's worth.
Yeah. You just don't want the players walking away thinking we still can't beat these fucking guys.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't want something to happen that makes them feel that way. I mean, I hate getting into the ways that you win or the ways that you lose. I said this yesterday, and I really, really believe this. This is a just win the damn game. You know, if we typify games, that's how I would describe this game.
The Broncos
win this game in any way that you can win it. It doesn't matter. You just need to get to 9-2 and drop the Chiefs to 5-5.
The Broncos have an opportunity to do something they haven't had the opportunity to do in over a decade. They potentially have a chance to end the Chiefs' season.
Right.
End it. I mean, if they, let's say for the sake of argument, the Chiefs were sitting with a 6-3 record, right?
Right. It'd be different.
It'd be different.
It sure would be.
You have I mean, if they are 6-3 going into this game for the sake of argument, you have a chance to, dent their car, give yourself the opportunity to feel good that, yeah, we have gotten over this hump. In this case, you are standing with a dump truck full of water over the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah.
And just eviscerate them. I'm not suggesting if the Broncos win, the Chiefs season is over.
No.
But there's zero margin for error. I am not so sure that 10 wins is a lock to even make the playoffs.
You're
in the AFC.
You could, I think that you're right. It's not a lock at all.
Nope.
11 is a lock, but they've got 7 games left after this.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, 7 games left. And, you could put them in a position where very, very realistically, they would have to win 6 of their last 7.
Yep.
Just to get to the playoffs. Now, I don't put anything past the Chiefs. I don't put anything past them. But boy, from a standpoint of you talk about them pushing them a little further down the hill that they've got to get up.
Yep.
That's what you can do in this game, big time.
Looking at the standings right now, I don't know if Jacksonville is going to hold, but the Jaguars hold the tiebreak over the Chiefs because they won head-to-head.
Right.
I don't know where Houston is going to be in the mix. Baltimore, though, is coming.
Intriguing.
And they are coming fast.
Yeah. You can hear footsteps.
The number that most people will look at, and rightfully so, is if the Chiefs lose, their record is 5-5. But there's even a number that you can make the case is even bigger to their detriment. If the Broncos win, the Chiefs' record in conference will fall to 2-4.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's where tie breaks happen in your conference record, unless you're playing somebody head to head. Coming up after the break, I don't know about you, Bruce, but When I saw the timing of Rick George stepping down, I found it to be mildly interesting.
Yes.
And, oh, by the way, if we have time to chat about it, is Russell Wilson's career officially over? That's next.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corn bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Here's another great promotion from Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk. On December 13th, it's their annual holiday auction for a pair of Super Bowl tickets, tools, jewelry, electronics, toys, and kitchen appliances. Earn auction currency with every locked-up jackpot, players' points, or a daily cash drawing. There's so many ways to earn currency, and the more you play, the more you'll be able to bid and win what you want at their auction. So get up to Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos and start stacking your auction currency today.
And welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's trending on Hot Takes with Goodman and Haertl? Brought to you by Mile High Sports.
All right, Bruce. Rick George stepping down as Colorado's athletic director after, I believe, 13 years on the job. Okay. He's going to take on an advisory role once he steps down. 65 years old. That's how old he is. He's saying he's stepping down because he wants to spend more time with his family. Did the timing of the announcement seem a little interesting to you? Did to me. And do you think it's more than just spending time with his family?
What, with a 3-7 football team and a coach that is battling health issues, and the money that they're paying him and all of those things, does that make the timing somewhat conspicuous here? I think the timing is conspicuous if you allow your mind to wander a little bit. As someone that is about ready to retire, there's lots of different reasons that you get to a point where you want to retire, and certainly spending a little more time with family and the way that you choose to do it is front of the list, no question. I congratulate Rick for his run. Congratulate him for making the move on Deion Sanders, which I think you and I would still agree was a pretty creative, bold move to make football relevant again at the University of Colorado. But where are we now? 3 years into it, and the timing at the very least, for conspiracy theorists, would be interesting.
I don't want to make it sound like they are 100 yards away from an iceberg talking about the football program, but it feels like Rick is the first one on the lifeboat. And he is away now from the ship. Because let's look ahead. Deion's health, that's number one. The way the team has looked. The only shimmer that iceberg is a mirage is Juju Lewis becomes one hell of a quarterback.
Right.
Do I think that Deion Sanders is going to leave after this season? No, I don't. I don't think he wants to leave like this. I think he's good for at least one more year. But if things don't turn around, I think the new AD is going to be shopping for not only a new head coach, but that head coach is going to be shopping for a new quarterback as well. Because I don't think Juju sticks around at Colorado if Deion's not here.
Yeah. Eric, I'll ask you this. How attractive is this job for an AD candidate with
Not at all.
With Deion clearly in control of the monster, at least, which is the football program?
Let me give you an analogy. I don't know if Paul DePodesta has full control over the Rockies. And they had a press conference yesterday.
Yep.
And according to Dick, he's handing it over to his son Walker and Paul DePodesta. I think that Rick George had as much power as Bill Schmidt did under Dick Munford. Dick made the decisions.
Yeah.
And you are walking in there, not necessarily castrated, but neutered as an athletic director with Deion Sanders there. Listen, the things that Rick George has done has been tremendous.
Right.
Let's start with the new indoor practice facility.
Right.
The fundraising campaign to raise money generated about $100 million. The athletics department under Rick George set records for donations, sponsorships, ticket sales, revenue. Pretty good track record.
Darn right.
CU, to their credit, invested more in mental health resources. And academically, the GPA has never been higher. All of those things are huge positives. But Rick George, I don't want to say he's not running the athletic department, but he doesn't want to piss off Deion.
Well, he's clearly not running the football program. So, I mean, and the football program is the elephant in the room. So, I mean, or the shark in the sea, however you want to put it. The football program is what's fueling the program.
I'm going to tell you, Bruce, and I may have mentioned this to you before, what Deion Sanders has done for the University of Colorado, which I still don't know why they call it CU. That still doesn't make any sense. My daughter's getting ready to go to Kansas. It's called the University of Kansas. I don't know why they call it KU.
Yeah.
At least at my school, Indiana, we got it right. It's
yes.
University, not the University of Indiana. Where I grew up in Chicago, it's U of I, University of Illinois. It's not U of I, University of Indiana. At least Indiana gets it right. Right?
Come on, Indiana.
With that, here's something else that Rick George should get credit for because he hired Deion Sanders. You haven't put a child through college in a long time. Is that right?
Correct. Well, I mean, I just finished up at DU, another one, University of Denver. I just finished that up at.
So you understand, generally speaking, pricing for college.
Yes, painfully.
So a buddy of mine, his stepdaughter is getting ready to transfer from her school to Colorado as an in-state student. Would you like to guess how much it is all in for my buddy and his wife to pay for their daughter in-state to go to Colorado?
$38,000.
That's exactly what it is.
There you go.
In-state.
In-state.
I believe a year ago it was $33,000. Now it's $38,000. I was having dinner with my wife Mandy and my daughter Mia the other day. And we were talking about pricing at Colorado. And I said, the one of the most important things for recruiting for any university when it comes to the student body is football. Those beauty shots of the Flatirons. Maybe there's a nationally televised game in Boulder, and the game is in November, and they have beauty shots of A Basin and all of those things. That is the greatest marketing that you can get.
Yep.
And Colorado has been able to jack up their prices because enrollment is really, really high. Colorado can certainly be more selective on who they take, but in-state tuition, $38,000? Are you fucking kidding me? Seriously.
Yeah.
That is outrageous. You are not doing any of your in-state students any favors. You can and they don't give out a lot of scholarship money either, unless you're a Rhodes Scholar. And with all due respect, Rhodes Scholars don't go to Colorado. Sorry. Sorry, it's not the Harvard or the West. Hate to break the news to all CU grads. Your education's great, but it's not Harvard great, Stanford great, so on and so forth. So Rick George has played a role in that too.
Yeah, no, without question. I think Rick George has a very firm and solid legacy to look back on. But it's where Colorado moves forward now. They're in a very interesting position. Their football program is relevant, but for not necessarily the right reasons competitively. They're not competitively relevant at this particular point. And where they go is going to be very interesting because while I think Deion Sanders is an incredibly bright guy and obviously will continue to be a person that can recruit in the new age of college football. I think he'll continue to be able to draw players. He's got to prove that he can win with players that he's recruiting with. Right. And at this point,
not procreating them.
Right. And at this, yeah, well said. But at this point, Eric, I don't think that we have proof of that. This is going to be a 3-9 or 4-8 football team. The record speaks for itself. So, yeah, we're in a tenuous position for a program that they have invested millions and millions of dollars in. And you've got to continue to get the rate of return that you expect for that investment. And I think that they're in a tenuous position.
One more quick thing before we go.
Right.
You watched it because of your age. I'm not taking a dig at your age.
No problem.
You watched the quick decline of Willie Mays' career.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
One of the greatest players of all time, and he hung on too long. I witnessed firsthand, out of front row seat, to watching Peyton Manning's decline, which was like a bowling ball falling off a table in 2015. Is it starting to feel that way with Russell Wilson, who was just bypassed to be the starting quarterback for the Giants, and he was leapfrogged by Jameis Winston?
Yeah, I've read that there were certain incentives in the contract for a number of games started and things of that nature. But I think that the point is still the same. Look, I think that we've heard the last of Russell Wilson in the capacity of a starting quarterback in the NFL. And you know what? If Russ wants to hold a clipboard and be that guy and be there for emergency service, I'm sure that he'll find some suitors. The big contract days are gone. He's going to be a string along guy that picks up a couple million here or a couple million there, of which, you know what, sign me up for that. I'd be just fine. But yeah, I think the heyday of Russell Wilson is past him, and he still has a lot to be very proud of, very, very proud of.
I just think, but unless he has a career turnaround like a Rich Gannon, I'm never going to tell a guy to retire. If you want to still play, knock yourself out. If you want to make more money, knock yourself out. But it is truly killing his legacy and reputation if he even plays for another team next year. Because I think before he came to Denver, he was a first ballot Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. Do I still think he's a Hall of Famer? I do. Yeah. But when the voters vote, they're going to look at Denver, Pittsburgh, now the Giants, and be like, he should be in, but sorry. It's not like when Brett Favre hung on. Brett Favre was still performing at a pretty high level.
Absolutely.
Every single time he retired and then came back.
Optics mean something, and the optics haven't been good for Russell Wilson for the last 3 years. Yeah. And has it been damaging to his legacy? I'm not going to go that far. You do what you do, and you have success with what you've had. And, and he certainly has had more than enough success. But yeah, he's not, the legacy is, it's well in the past. He's not building positively upon it right now.
Real quick, got to run. Give me a final score. Who wins on Sunday?
I think the Broncos are going to win. And this may be more wishful than thoughtful. But I think that the Broncos are going to win in the 20-17, 20-18, 21-18, something like that kind of realm. I think the Broncos can have the mettle to get it done.
My prediction, I'm going to quote my favorite comedian of all time, George Carlin. I'm going to give you a partial score, Broncos 20. Make it the best possible weekend you can.